Hey fellow bookworm, today I shall review Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. And okay, this is the last book in the Infernal Devices series, so if you have not read it, turn it off right now because I will spoil you to death, and you don't want to be spoiled on the last book. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I have so much to say about this book. So in the prologue, we start off, we have Aloysius Starkweather with Adele, his granddaughter, about to get marked for the ceremony, and she is actually, we find out, a changeling, a sickly human child that was exchanged with his actual granddaughter is now Elizabeth Grey, and she's a shadow hunter, and she does not know that she is a shadow hunter. So, okay, we find out finally what Tessa is. Whoa, okay, I did not expect that. My theories were that I thought her mom was like either like half pixie and half shadow hunter and the dad was a demon, or her mom was completely a shadow hunter and then the dad was like a pixie that was disguised as her father. Her mom was just an unmarked shadow hunter because it was the runes that make the baby of shadow hunter and demon a stillborn. So yeah, her mom was unmarked, so that was how she was able to live, and her father was a demon. The necklace that keeps Tessa alive. A piece of the angel Ethereal is trapped inside. Okay, Ethereal is, I'm pretty sure, the same angel that Valentine traps to use his blood to enhance and create new powers for Clary and Jace. The poor guy is just always getting himself into these bad situations. He keeps getting trapped by evil people, and it's terrible and sad. So let's talk about the book cover for a second. I switch covers of books sometimes because my parents like to take my books away, and sometimes I just don't really want them to take it away. So I like the hardcovers because I can just take it off and then replace it with a different one. This one I continually replace with City of Lost Souls, but that's beside the point. The first time that I was exchanging the covers, I take off the covers and I find this on the inside. Family Tree. First names that my eyes traveled to, of course, were William Herondale and Tessa Gray, and of course they are together. Then they have children. So I saw this before I found out that she was a special kind of warlock, sort of, who could have children. And I was like, oh, they produce children, what? Crazy, whoa, mind blown. Then I looked over to find James Carstairs, and I see 1861 dash. I look back over to Tessa, 1862 dash. William Herondale, 1861-1937. Jem and Tessa are both immortal, and so I was like, okay, Jem is a silent brother. Let's get to Cecily, William's sister. And then there's Gabriel Lightwood, who fancies her, and I was like, awesome! So then, since I had already spoiled the important part, I looked back at the family tree and found out that they do in fact get married. Sophie and Gideon, that relationship had already started in Clockwork Prince. So they have this whole fight scene on the front steps of the Institute, and Jessamine dies. I was like, then Will confesses his love for Tessa to Jem. Finally, he confesses after Tessa is taken. Oh my gosh, just the whole confession evoked so much emotion in me. I was just bawling, tears were just streaming down my face, streaming. Okay, back to Gabriel and Gideon. The consul employs them to spy on Charlotte. So they write all these BS letters to the consul. They were just so funny. I was laughing. After Tessa is taken and Will goes after her, they kept getting close to each other, but then they just completely missed it. When he finally finds her in Kadir Idris, I was so happy at first, but then he was like, Jem is dead, and I don't know how long they were mourning him, but it was less than a day. Tessa was like, "Kiss me." For me, whoa, she got over him way too fast. Jem had given Will his blessing, but I was still like, Tessa, it's too soon. It's too soon. Then there is that battle scene, and Tessa turns into Ethereal and saves the day. She's like my favorite heroine out of every book that I've ever read, because most of them are annoying. Jem also gives Tessa his blessing. Oh my gosh, she was like, "Jem, I need to tell you something. In Kader Idris, when Will and I, it's okay. You don't have to tell me." He was like, I don't really want to know. Tessa and Will, when they went on the carriage ride, it was like showing her around London, and this is blah blah blah, and she was like, "Stop being so polite. Just be Will. Why can't you just be Will? Who's funny and makes up songs and makes me laugh? I didn't bring you here to maul you. I didn't ask you to maul me. Just want you to be Will." At the Christmas ball, Will goes out on the steps, and Jessamine's there, and she was like, "You're a lousy suitor, Will." And then Tessa comes out, and he proposes, and I was like, yay, finally! The part that I've been very excited to talk about, the epilogue. She talks all about how her life went with Will, and then Jem being there because she's meeting Jem today on Blackfriar Bridge, and then their first child was a boy, and they named him James. They talked about how Will died, and I was crying a lot. I'm so pathetic. Okay. And then she talks about Magnus was like the one that you first love dying is always the hardest, but it gets easier afterwards. We see that Magnus, he can also be quite tender, rather than just like this sarcastic, funny, but also passionate person, Jem. When she sees Jem, she's expecting Brother Zachariah, but she gets like Jem, and he has been cured. Somebody found a cure and gave it to him, and then he was removed of his duty as a silent brother, and now he doesn't have any more rules, and he's just like normal Jem, but healthy normal Jem. Jem was starting to ask if she could possibly love him again, and then he was like, "Wait, never mind. No, of course not. I don't know why I was so foolish." And then he like takes off. So Tessa was like, "What were you about to say? What was he about to say?" And then she takes off after him, and then goes and finds him. Okay, for me, I was like, whoa, this is like, right, Will just died, but he didn't really just die. He died like 100 years ago. But I had just read about him dying. Jem, I wanted him to be happy before, and then, I don't know, everything just came like really full circle, because now he can actually be with Tessa, and Tessa's no longer with Will, because Will has been dead for like a really long time. I don't know, it had like a really bittersweet ending, but it was like happy. And then she told Jem that she had never stopped loving him, and then they kissed on the bridge. She asked him to go with her, like to be with her again. I'm just so sad that it's over. Maybe they'll show up in the City of Heavenly Fire or the Dark Artifices, and we can see more of what happens between them, because I really don't want it to be the end for Tessa and Jem. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope you had fun watching me suffer in those last couple of minutes. So, happy reading. Bye.